Lights on the horizon, and I'm trying to find my way back home on my own. But I don't know who I'm supposed to be finding. Is somebody lying? 'Cause I was told I would meet my maker, but now I'm just walking with the Savior tonight. But now I'm just walking with the Savior tonight. Open your doors, don't make no noise.
Hello, welcome to Shattering the Narrative with Able Child and the Spark Free Press. Today we have Sheila Matthews with us. We have a breaking story out of Vero Beach, Florida, right here where we're at in our hometown. And just amazing kind of story we're getting into about the Vice Mayor, Linda Moore, and this Kilted Mermaids restaurant. And so it's made the national news. I guess the Florida Attorney General has subpoenaed this Vice Mayor and this Kilted Mermaid. Did you want to explain a little bit about it, Sheila?
Well, I'm learning, just as the rest of the Vero Beach residents, just how deep this story has blown up. It was in the 32963 magazine that is distributed just to the island. It's a very elite newspaper, which gets plenty of advertising from Cleveland Clinic and Johns Island, and it's a very high-end 32963 zip code.
Yeah, they say that's the fifth richest zip code in the country. So it's definitely elite stuff going on. What were the thoughts on this story?
Well, the story out this as of yesterday was this writer Ray McNulty, and I might have his last name incorrect, so please forgive me. He wrote like how everybody in Vero really supports this vice mayor who has created an uproar about having these burlesque style shows at her restaurants, and has really taken on Moms for Liberty, which is a national parent organization that operates around the country. And I believe it was founded here in Vero Beach. And so they've escalated it to a point where it's just embarrassing, but it's also in violation. And I'm just going to give you my take on it. This is a vice mayor, and she's a member of the council who owns a restaurant, who has to abide by the zoning rules, right? So the zoning regulations, I would assume, would have to allow that type of burlesque style show like you would have in P-Town up on the Cape. Their town charter and their town is completely different from Vero Beach. But so there's a question right now as to, is she violating zoning laws? And then, the question about children attending it, I think it's an important question, especially when we have a mental health crisis around the country of young children transitioning into other sexes. I mean, we're way off course here, CJ. We have. I'll just keep.
The culture's sick.
What?
The culture's sick. The culture is a little sick right now. And the thing is, you're right. The main issue, what is, I guess, why the subpoena was sent by the Florida Attorney General is because there is a zoning issue. You're not allowed to have burlesque shows or strip clubs or any of that sort of stuff in the city limits there. Nonetheless, by the vice mayor of the town that, is responsible for, carrying out the laws in that town. They own an establishment in that town. They feel like they can get away with breaking the laws. I guess that's why Attorney General Utmeyer has subpoenaed them. But, and now they're coming out about, they're a victim of bullying. When now everybody's bullying them, they can't do what they want. They can't have, sex shows. And I've heard that this, I think they even said that this vice mayor had requested certain items for the show that lewd toy items that I'm not going to get into, but they're requested, and that sort of behavior, that's not in the zoning for this town. So I think the Florida Attorney General has a great case there.
Okay. I heard that it was sex toys. She was asking to be used sex toys, which raises a whole lot of cleanliness and like disease spreading ideas in my head. I mean, I've never met this woman. I did hear her speak one time, and I've also never met Moms for Liberty. So I don't have like any personal connection with either one of these women. What I do know is that when you accuse somebody of something, which this vice chairman did, she should have the facts to back it up. When you imply that somebody has committed mail fraud for sending you these things and you have no proof of saying that is libelous. I think that's slanderous. And this isn't the first time 32963 has attacked Moms for Liberty. I mean, Able Child, I believe one time we stood up for them. And I always stand up our organization regarding anybody that's targeted for just being who they are, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. I know that Moms for Liberty, when you talk about, if you're talking about free speech and how this restaurant, the Kilted Mermaid, gets to have free speech and do all this thing, so does Moms for Liberty. And honestly, they were doxxed out of Vero Beach that they couldn't even send out public notices of where they were going to be, because people that hate them, like this Linda Moore, appears to have a real axe to grind with them, would dox them and dox the restaurant. And I believe one restaurant actually went out of business. So I think we have a lot of like commerce issues here.
Yes. You bring up an excellent question. So we do have some commerce issues. And what's a better advertisement than, saying you're the only place in town that can have these special shows? You have a certain niche you can kind of get into, which is actually illegal in town according to the zoning. So now they have an advertising ploy. I've heard she's raised $20,000 for legal expenses already. So also you got the victim card coming into now that people are coming at them for whatever reason about sexual freedom or whatever. No, it's not even about that. It's about a zoning issue. That's not allowed in city limits. There's an area of town where that could be identified to be able to be happening. And I know one of the city council members, Taylor Dingle, has spoken out against that. And that's one out of all the town council members have spoken out. The other ones, I mean, I don't know if they seem like they're in agreement with allowing her to do that, break the law.
Well, we have a lot of bigger issues coming up in the zoning. We have very serious issues regarding these meta warehouses, these AI warehouses that are going to be coming into all different towns. I mean, to me, that seems to be a bigger issue of like zoning and what is your council doing? I mean, this is just a ridiculous sideshow that we can't afford as taxpayers. And the experts, these mental health experts that haven't weighed in on children attending these burlesque shows of people transitioning you can't tell a man from a woman anymore. And then they wanted psychiatry allowed this bending of terms and wanted to force us all into he, she, her, them, they, redefining humanity. This is just another illustration, a very local one, a very embarrassing one of the failure of mental health. This is really, this woman seems to me like she really is so desperate for attention that she'll do anything. I questioned her mental health, to be honest with you. And you know what? Her comments, CJ, when she was like, Spoiler alert. I did see an article and I did comment on it. It was like, spoiler alert, I'm not going to resign. You know, to me, it's like, that's so defiant in like, well, what does your record show as what you're producing for the people of Vero Beach? Again, we have a mental health crisis. We have Tennessee, that a young girl was transitioning and shot up an entire school. The University of Vanderbilt was actually their transition surgeries were shut down. I mean, we have a lot of issues here regarding financial ties to this mental health crisis. So I think that Vero Beach should really, well, we don't have a choice now. I mean, like you said, the state has gotten involved. So, you know, it's up to her to defend herself. And if the other board members and 32963, again, that's heavily supported by the Cleveland Clinic, who basically, CJ, doesn't allow informed consent regarding psychiatric drugs, has Cleveland Clinic also had a mental health patient kill somebody on site, and they got off on a technicality in the courts. So, you know, I think that 32963, it's a very high-end newspaper. I think their articles are pathetic on this issue. They just want to divert us and make us all fight together.
Yeah, exactly. You're bringing up a great subject. So this is a completely ridiculous issue. I don't even know, you know, how this is the big story in town right now. But, you know, we got serious things going on in the hospital. We got serious things going on with the illegal immigration, with all sorts of really big issues that need to be handled right now. But they give us this almost a straw man fallacy of, okay, now we want to fight about, you know, people dancing cabaret shows and ridiculous stuff, like, which they did break the law and it should be addressed. But
Broke the law.
Yeah, they broke the law, but we need to kind of fix some bigger issues here. We need to fix this issue, definitely, but we need to keep our energy focused on results, good results. I don't know how we got to a place in this town where this is what's going on. They're bringing kids to cabaret, you know, and now they're claiming victim. She's claiming a bully because of mailing some items that she had requested. Somebody mailed them to her, I believe is what happened. And now she's saying that.
Why is she bullied? By who?
Well, that's just a trick of the left. She's getting a trick by left. I guess she's made some accusation against this local Moms for Liberty organization and has said that somehow she thinks that they're responsible for emailing the items she had requested.
You know, listen, CJ, you and I have been on the road together. We've done a lot of different things together. And I think that we can both agree that the left happens to be very violent. The things that they are willing to do to retain power is disgusting, in my opinion. You know, her accusations against Mom for Liberty, the guy who writes for 32963 on Moms for Liberty really owes that organization. It's a 5013C organization founded by parents who don't want these sexual books in the school system, and went to great lengths to attend these meetings. And, you know, people are away right now. Vero Beach is a very seasonal town. It's an older demographic. So, you know, the fact that she's like, this article's coming out saying all these people support her, I think that's great. Well, maybe, and you know what? You're raising her money, $200,000 to go to fight the state. It's not a position I would want to be in. And, you know, she's not going to resign. And you know what? I think people are so disappointed in the government that they go on with their lives and they try to get involved. But it's like stories like this that people just get sick to their stomachs. They're like,
yeah, it's wrong. And we have a comment here from Joseph Wayne. He says, men in women's lingeries shake their bits in front of children in public. It should be addressed. That's what he's saying, Joseph Wayne. And yes, Joseph Wayne, it should be addressed. And we're going to address it. But how did we get to a place in this world where it seems like this vice mayor is just doing what the Democrat party platform is telling them to do. She's doing that, and she's getting good results. She'll probably get a promotion for it. I mean, she's raised $20,000 because of that, and has claimed victimhood. That I guess now, yeah.
I don't think, honest to God, I don't think in the end she'll win. As far as men dressing up in women's clothing or vice versa, you know, that's been going on since the beginning of time. And, you know, the town square should really accept everybody, but we're not going to change our language. We're not calling men women that are not women. You know, it's just, that's just stupid, you know, and the psychiatric industry, for all the drugs that they push on these kids, these transition drugs and all these psychiatric drugs, where are they when there's an Audrey Hale that shoots up innocent children, and then they hide all the data and all the mental health records? These are the same experts that are confusing our children. Quite frankly, I think that we should defund the psychiatric industry in a big way throughout the government, because they're the ones that are behind this, pinning us all against each other.
Yes, they've definitely failed us. And you know, we were listening to Tucker Carlson. He had a young Turk on, and they were explaining to the, you know, we got the lingerie shows and the weird sex stuff, and that is breaking the law in our town. But you know, we got millions of people dying from fentanyl, and we got the Sackler family responsible for all the Oxycontin and all that stuff that started the whole problem here, and they're still walking free. They haven't been in jail. They're still rich. I mean, you know, so the big problems like these aren't getting solved, and they give us little tidbits like the sex stuff out here. So it's a sad state of affairs, and part of it is the media's fault. 32963 should be kind of addressing some of these bigger issues, especially in the hospital district.
Oh yeah, well, 32963, you know, they come out when Able Child went to all the meetings locally. They do big spreads the next week on ADHD, which we know is bogus. That was made up by psychiatrists. There's no science behind it, and they're drugging all these children. They never talk about informed consent, which Moms for Liberty supports. I have to say, I might disagree on how they go about you know, I think they're going after low-hanging fruit. I think the real fight is up here on the behavioral health level, you know, and I've never really worked with Moms for Liberty, but I could tell you 32963, I am a realtor, and I could tell you that they have a tremendous amount of advertising by real estate agencies. And I just find it really—
So would you advertise?
Would I
advertise in 32963?
No, I would never. I would advertise in your paper.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and we welcome any real estate agents to advertise here. But you make an excellent point. What kind of real estate agent is behind this like Ray McNulty, and they're backing this sort of behavior out here, and they're doing it for views and clickbaits and rage baiting and trolling people. But now you have advertisers coming on. I don't know what the big one over there is, Dale Sorensen or something. I don't know who the big guy in town with them is. But you know, in a way, they're kind of signing on to this sort of behavior.
They're totally signing on to it. And also, of course, Cleveland Clinic. So anything that, you know, I ran for the hospital district seat. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And I always mess up the little words there. But here's the thing. I got 48% of the vote. And the current woman that is in there has tremendous amount of conflict of interest in there. And so, you know, the newspaper 32963 never interviewed any of the other candidates. They did a big fluff piece on her. And so it's money attracts money, and all this much to do about nothing about this woman's restaurant and her approach to people. Like, honestly, I don't really care what she does in her establishment, because either you want to go there or not, and it's commerce. So either you're going to get a lot of people to come in and you're going to thrive, or you're not. And
yeah, I think the issue is that her means of attracting clientele into her establishment is illegal within the city limits. I mean, I'm sure if other people could get away with that behavior, lewd shows in city limits, then they would definitely partake in that, because they would be, the hottest thing in town. But I think her position on the city council, she feels like she has more leeway and ability to get away with this, and then run a LGBTQ flag in defense of her business, which is that's not even the issue, that they're gay. It has nothing to do with it.
Here's there's been gay people since the beginning of time, and I think most people embrace their family members, and it's not a big deal. It's the stigma that they use to wedge into religion and everything. Like, it's just a lot about nothing. So we get diverted and they spend the money towards things we don't want. You know what I mean? So it's like, we have to stay focused. Okay, so what's the next step here? Where does the story go? Well, I think it's going to be in the national eye. The state will now decide to either prosecute her or what are they doing? They subpoenaed her, so she has to show up. So she'll go with the attorney.
And they've asked her to resign. And she has said she won't resign. I don't understand why not. I mean, you broke the law. You're authority figure in town, and you broke your own laws. So that should pretty much qualify you to resign.
Well, she attacked another organization without evidence, and you know what? Honestly, I think that's a bigger deal. I mean, yes, she definitely broke a zoning law, because I can't imagine that a burlesque show was zoned for that area. But here's the thing, she attacked another organization without evidence. She represents all of us, whether you like a council person or not, whether they're a Democrat or a Republican. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's being able to go to a hearing and being and this goes for before judges or anyone in anything. You want to at least feel that your issue is going to be taken serious, especially in front of the council. Let me ask you, CJ, what are some of the, what does the council kind of hear in front of them?
Right. So and that's another thing. People need to, if you have something to say about this issue, you should show up at your town council meeting and say, because you pay for these people, they're public servants. You're just, you vote for them, and that's another thing is who's voting for these people. And I only saw one council member stand up against them, and that was Taylor Dingle. He said something, at least addressed the issue and spoke about it, and about the zoning issue and how she may have violated it. And we encourage everybody to show up there that has something to say in town. Please show up, because I'll be real. The Democrats show up. The Democrats show up for Linda Moore, and they're all,
I think most people read the story and their stomach turns, and they really don't want to engage in that battle. And I think
it's embarrassing.
Yeah, and I think that Moms for Liberty has really had so much grace and elegance about the whole issue, because they do have I think from everything I've read in 32963, I would do a slander case, I would do this, but then at the end of the day, that's another diversion. You take all your energy that you're doing for your nonprofit, believe me, I've been there, and somebody says something and attacks you and wants to do, you then need to go to battle over here, and then your mission falls.
Yes.
So it's the art of war. So it's like, do I really benefit by suing them for slander? I don't know.
Right.
I think they really handled themselves very well.
Yeah, it's a side issue. It's a side issue, but they make it so loud and so in your face and so intrusive that they force it to be the main issue, which it really shouldn't be. but it definitely should be addressed. And we all have stuff we have to do. I mean, I know Able Child, maybe you can explain a little bit about your mission over there, and without us getting distracted about this Linda Moore.
Right. Well, Able Child focuses on informed consent regarding psychiatric products and services. So this does fall into our area because we worked on the mass killing in Tennessee with Audrey Hale, and it was a battle to get the manifesto. We were just on Bannon in the War Room on the shooting in New York, where that guy drove all the way from Nevada and was on a cocktail of psychiatric drugs. 3. We're still trying to get his treating psychiatrist's name. So basically, CJ, what we do is we ensure that there's informed consent regarding psychiatric products and services. They're in every area of our life. And so we're into liberty, we're into your own state of mind. And Able Child's a 501(c)(3) organization. We don't take any money from the state or federal government. And I will say in my final comments, like, one of the big things that attracts young people to bars, and I don't know if you could relate to this, CJ, but if there's any sort of controversy about a little bar, kids are like magnets to it.
Yeah.
And
it's advertised.
Right. And so we have to be mindful that our children are watching us. And if we take the position about, oh, we don't like what she's doing morally, I think we lose the conversation, if that makes sense. Whereas what you were saying is correct. You have to go, is this factually based? Are they breaking laws? How does her position at the council handle mental health for children in Vero Beach? Is she complying to the mission of that council? And if the other people are willing to keep her on there, it's a whole ego thing as far as I'm concerned. And basically, Moms for Liberty will blossom and continue to make strides where they'll just rot in their own crap.
Yeah. So that's excellent, and we love the work you guys are doing there, addressing these issues that really need to be addressed. It's not always the most comfortable work or the most rewarding. We do know if they want to donate to you guys, I know your nonprofit, they can. How do they do that on your website? Correct? Or
yes, ablechild.org. We just redesigned our website thanks to donors like you all out there. And you can go on and see our news articles that we do. Our Facebook is very interactive. And again, we're writing stories that impact our liberties, our mental health, our rights. And I would just encourage people to really stay focused in Vero Beach on the coming zoning laws regarding these data centers and our privacy rights regarding AI and mental health. So those are the things I'm going to be focusing on in the coming months.
Yeah, they're deeply related, and people really need the cold hard facts because they're tired of all this information coming, sponsored by drug companies. All the media is sponsored by Pfizer, sponsored by Johnson and Johnson. Then they push out these narratives. That's why here at Shattering the Narrative, we're able to break those sort of lies and basically advertisements. They're sneaky ways of pushing their drugs on people. The sneakiest ways. They have psychologists they hire to kind of design these advertising campaigns, and which really we need to be addressing issues that are solving the drug epidemic, the over medication of these psych meds, and why is it causing people to be violent and shoot up everything in sight. That's a serious thing that needs to be addressed in the big picture here. We thank you for that.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you for all you do. We love your newspaper. It's just really creative. It's really nice because it is like a hard copy. And how do people get your newspaper, by the way?
You go to sparkfreepress.com or see us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Spark Free Press. Check out our other episodes on our podcast, and we invite any other real estate agents to come to the Spark Free Press, because I don't know why you would want to be associated with 32963 at this point, because that's just almost defamation to the Moms for Liberty. But all right, well, yeah, it is. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we encourage 32963 to come on and defend themselves on here. Everybody's welcome, or tell us where we've gone wrong.
Yeah, or everybody, town council meeting on August the 12th, I believe. I think we'll have a couple people show up there.
One quick question on that upcoming one. Can people join via Zoom? Let's say, because we have a very seasonal Vero Beach town here, can people do that via Zoom?
I would check out the county website, see if they have that available. If not, we'll contact them and see if they could make that available to people. We'll try to be streaming from the Spark Free Press as well, and recording that as well. So I know a lot of people will be in town because they want to see what kind of precedence is going to be set with this sort of behavior in Florida and the East Coast of Florida and the rest of Florida, because they have felt for a while that this has been a protected class, that you can't say anything again. If you claim the LGBTQ flag or whatever, then now you're a protected class and your business gets more kind of flexibility, I guess, to break the law in whichever way. So we'll see how that plays out, and this will definitely set precedence on that.
Okay, yeah. Good. What's that date again?
August 12th, Vero Beach City Council. People are welcome to speak their mind. There'll be questions and answers, and I'm sure we'll see some lively talk then. So,
Thanks,
right.
Jay.
Thank you so much. Everybody else, have a wonderful day, and please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.
Lights on the horizon, and I'm trying to find my way back home on my own, but I don't know who I'm supposed to be finding. Is somebody lying? 'Cause I was told I would meet my maker, but now I'm just walking with the Savior tonight. But now I'm just walking with the Savior tonight. Open your doors,